Hello and welcome to Opinions Plus. I was told I need to be a little more uh, engaged in these videos and maybe, you know, a stronger greeting will help me to maintain that energy. Um, Today, or this clip's topic is: will there be a civil war in the United States if Donald John Trump is found guilty or breach of pretrial agreement, and he's detained and put in handcuffs and put in jail? And the answer is no. There will not be a civil war. This First Amendment, freedom of speech, election interference nonsense. The man is accused of breaking the law. Now, should it have been done earlier? Absolutely. It didn't have to wait 2.5 years or whatever. And that one of the few things I agree with Mr. Trump on is that it shouldn't have waited this long. But I was in law enforcement, and I do know that these things are not simple. And the fact that the Department of Justice had to, you know, prosecute about 1,000 cases, big time, big investigations. I mean, I don't know, Mister Garland. I don't know all the priorities, but I do know that there's a lot of considerations, and maybe he didn't want to do it at all. I don't know. I don't know the man at all. I don't have any view on him or his abilities or whatever. Um, but he's got a history of judicial um, experience that is impressive. He's he's done it. He knows it. He knows he's tasted all these situations. There's nothing new to him. Um, so why they do what they do is beyond me. But all I can say is, from my perspective, there is no civil war, no fear of civil war, but there is definitely violence going to come down. If Trump is detained, or due to his violation of pretrial agreements, he's you know there's going to be some violence. There's already been violence. There's always violence. Violence is part of humanity. Violence is part of opposition. It doesn't have to be that way, but it is. People are armed to the teeth. That's just the way it is. Um, so, but don't be afraid or don't be concerned about this Civil War business. It isn't going to go that far. People are, you know, they might scream and protest and cry and whine and all this stuff, but you look at those crowds that are there supporting Mr. Trump, and there's nobody, that's going to be jumping up and down and grabbing their weapons and going out and under, you know, um, some military or militia guys. Although there are plenty of people out there still who are militants, and they are armed up. They are armed up. Now, whether they're going to entertain or support a man like Trump, um, or his, you know, take a violent action to, I don't know, get him out of jail, or just violent action to protest, because there's no uh, central uh, group that is fostering this stuff. There's just a variety of different groups out there that have similar desire for chaos. And sadly, the chaos is going to be violent. And I don't know why we have such a tendency. But I do know that people should be talking about it. Leaders of our churches, of our government should be talking about it clearly, distinctly, you know, and saying, don't do this. Don't go violent. There's more weaponry in the United States than there are people. People are going to do things because they want to do things. You need guidance in these types of affairs, but there's nobody out there that wants to guide. There's nobody who wants to that's has the ability or desire. They're articulate enough. I've heard many of them talk very eloquently, but they're not talking about, you know, how to be a how to be a good citizen, how to change the society for the better. Pertinent, current examples are not being used. They still go, in the Christian community, they still go back, biblical stories. There's plenty of stuff right now today that can be used to help people understand their responsibility to live good and decent lives upholding the law, whether they agree with the law or not. As I said in my previous clip, the law is not moral, it is just the law. But because of the tendency of people to go too far, people are going to go too far. But there's no central group that's going to consolidate, become suddenly, you know, a civil entity to uh, get behind and become, the Confederate States of whoever. There is nothing of that nature out there. There's undercurrents, of course. There's plenty of undercurrents, and people want to fight. People want to pull those triggers. They're dying. Well, I guess it's the wrong word, but they're going to die, and other people are going to die because their their hearts are corrupted by these thoughts. Is that an evil? And again, it goes back to the good Christian community, Muslim community, all religious communities. I don't care who you are. Speak to the issues. Speak to the people. Educate them. Teach them. Guide them. Do the best you can. There's going to be violence. How much? I don't know. But it's not a civil war. Don't worry about that. Um, Now, I'm just an opinions plus guy, so what I say, uh, I can't back up with any certainty, but I can say that it's certainly uh, my belief, based on what I see, um, that there are people that want and encourage these things, whether they want it or not. But what they do is creating, as a disservice to this country, disservice to the society, disservice to their human brothers and sisters by promoting, you know, just anti everything, whining, complaining, and just promoting no good, no value, nothing of quality. They tear down a lot. They're always tearing down something, but they're not building. They're not elevating people. They're going to the baseness of people. And that is going to create violence. and all it does is take a spark in some people, and boom, there they go. How many mass shootings have we had so far? Doesn't take that much. But anyway, I just wanted to speak to that Civil War rhetoric that I've heard, because there is not going to be a Civil War. Again, just isn't. I hope that puts some people's minds to rest, or to some ease, um, because people have to hear that. They need reassurance. But don't be fooled. There is going to be sorrow for some people, and some people of prominence, which I take my hat off that they are, and some of these people are under, you know, uh, certain protection by, bodyguards and others, police enforcement, surveillance, but others aren't, and they're taking a true stand into what they believe. But again, all this stuff is based on law. And your interpretation of the law has nothing to do with free speech and all that stuff. It's the law. You can interpret it any way you want, and of course, that's the person's right. But use your head, critically think. Think about what the law is. Find out what the law says before you just go ahead and jump on the gun, or in the bandwagon. I shouldn't say the gun, and promote these things, because the laws are complicated. They're not simple. Nothing that man does is simple. We've created these things, and we're going to have to live through it and suffer to some degree. But I firmly believe there is, because Mr. Trump is in prison or whatever, that, we're going to have this unbelievable rise of people, and they're just going to go crazy and under somebody who Ted Cruz. Um, is he going to lead the charge? I doubt it. Um, Lindsey Graham, is he going to lead the charge? Um, you know, um, who's the leader there? Um, but we do need leaders, and we do need leaders of integrity to help reduce the violence that we have potential for. We have some significant potential for violence, but no civil war constant, none whatsoever. Take care. If you liked the clips, subscribe. If you think they have some value to somebody, send them a link, and hit the like button if you liked it. And thank you very much for viewing. It's most appreciated. And I only say these things because they're in my heart, and the fears are real in people. Take care. Bye for now.